Hello, everyone. Welcome to Liberty Bytes on the Think Liberty Network. This is Matt McGowan sitting in for William Gadsden. A little bit of background on myself as it's pertinent to the topic I'd like to discuss here. I am a 10-year member of the Libertarian Party of Ohio. First got involved back in 2009, following the 2008 election. You know, of course, like so many of us, the debates, the Republican debates in 2008, and watching Ron Paul is what ultimately led me to the Libertarian Party. 2009, I joined my state party. I also ran for office in my hometown of Cheviot, Ohio. Actually won my race, served as an elected Libertarian through 2012. In 2016, I got involved with the Gary Johnson campaign and back involved with the Libertarian Party of Ohio. I've ran for office most recently in November, the State Board of Education. I was able to pull 28% in a three-way race, campaigned for our gubernatorial candidate, my good friend Travis Irvine, currently serving as County Development Coordinator for Butler County here in Ohio. And the reason I'm telling you all this is to demonstrate that I am as committed of a member of the Libertarian Party as anyone. I truly believe in our cause, and I truly want to oppose what is being presented by both the Republican and Democratic parties in the minds of voters. So why did I spend my evening making calls on behalf of the Cleveland Conservative Network? Not only making calls, but making a cash donation to the organization as well. Well, for those of you who are not familiar with our great state, we recently elected a Republican governor named Mike DeWine. One of Governor DeWine's first acts upon assuming the governorship was to propose a dramatic increase in our gas tax. I know it's shocking to hear that a Republican could be proposing tax increases, but that's pretty much par for the course here in Ohio. And to be honest, one of the reasons I became involved with our state party in the first place. Now, usually when a Republican politician raises taxes or advocates for something that traditionally falls outside of the right's political views, conservatives are quick to point out that that person's not really a conservative, or they're a rhino, Republican in name only. However, here in Ohio, Republicans have been noticeably silent, as have conservatives, on this latest gas tax increase. One notable exception being the Cleveland Conservative Network. Now, while in a lot of places the old alliance between certain conservatives and libertarians has fallen out of favor, quite the opposite thing is happening in Northeast Ohio, where groups like the Cleveland Conservative Network are working with libertarian groups and other anti-tax organizations to try and stop this gas tax increase. And the reason I bring this up is I believe that this type of activism best represents the future of the Libertarian Party. I talked the last time that I was on Liberty Bytes about our need to change our strategy and our tactics as a party to be effective. And I think what's happening in Cleveland and now statewide as a result of their actions is a perfect example of the things that we can accomplish if we're willing to think outside of our own box. Now, there you have a coalition of conservatives, libertarians who have, or conservatives rather, who have a history of working with the Libertarian Party of Ohio on a variety of issues. Absent of any large anti-tax movement within either of the two parties, which we're most likely never to see again, at least in Ohio, it is incumbent upon us as libertarians to take the lead on these issues. And in order to do that, we've got to let our guard come down when it comes to working with groups outside of our own space. You know, a lot of conservatives have a bad rap these days, and with just cause. I mean, there's numerous conservative groups that support Trump and love him or hate him. there's nothing conservative or libertarian about the way the man governs. So rather than worry about the label that applies to an organization, we have to make sure that we're sticking with groups of like principle. And, where we may disagree with conservatives or Republicans on issues, we find common ground when it comes to taxes. We find common ground when it comes to Second Amendment. And with the proliferation of red flag laws across the country, these are opportunities for us to work together on issues that may not advance our brand as far as getting officials elected, but it advances liberty, which is what we're all about. The same is true with our friends on the left. Marijuana legalization and criminal justice reform are both popular issues inside the Democratic Party, and they happen to have a little crossover with our platform. There are opportunities, Ohio being another example, where our marijuana laws, medicinal and otherwise, are among the most stringent in the nation. And the overwhelming majority of our population is in favor of recreational and full legalization. So this is an opportunity where neither party is going to take the lead, but there are pockets within each that we can work with and garner some much needed wins. Look, I understand as much as anyone the hesitation to work with the two legacy parties, but it's organizations like the Cleveland Conservative Network where you can meet individual Republicans. And let me be clear, that organization is not all Republican, but you can meet individual Republicans who are just as principled as any libertarian when it comes to issues that matter most to us. And again, these same types of individuals exist across parties, across political ideology. They are people who we have common ground with. They are people whom we can accomplish great things with. But we can only do that if we're willing to let go of the labels that we disdain so much yet apply ourselves so often. If we truly wish to be a party of principle and put principle above all else, then we have to be willing to stand with principle at all times, no matter where we find it. This is Matt McGowan for Liberty Bytes on the Think Liberty Network. Thanks for listening.